Mike Riley Now podcast on the Young Angels of America Network. Follow us by visiting MikeRileyNow.com. Yeah, and welcome one and all to the Mike Riley Now podcast here on the Young Angels of America Network. I am your host, of course, Mr. Mike Riley, and I am joined, welcome back, my lovely co-host Cam Robson and my girl Charlie Sandy. Hello, welcome back from finals. And we also have some live audience members tonight, at least one. We have my man, Carrie Otis. I know, I got you. See, I didn't forget his name this time. Carrie Otis, and of course we're joined by Miss Brooke Doherty, our executive producer. And we also have Moose the dog in here tonight. Hopefully he doesn't, come over here and try to eat our pizza that we baked, because we baked pizza. He's been trying to grab on our pizza all night.
He's been taunting him.
Yeah, he's been taunting me I've been taunting the dog.
Him, mate.
Yeah, if you follow my Snapchat, you'll see me taunt my own dog. Or it's not my dog, it's my roommate's dog, but I love it. I think it's funny to torture dogs in that way.
He's a cruel man.
I am indeed. So yeah, welcome. I want to say what's up to all my new subscribers on iTunes, on Stitcher, on Google Play. We want to thank you guys so much. Please log on to MikeRileyNow.com and check us out on the Facebook, the Twitters, the Instagrams, all that cool stuff. Today is Thursday, December 15th, 2016, and we have had a roller coaster of a week. First of all, how was finals, Charlie and Cameron? How'd you guys do?
Not terrible, but I'm bloody glad they're over.
Just long. Really long.
Yeah, I remember those. Those are high school finals too, guys. Wait till y'all are in college and you gotta stay up all night in your dorm room and eat ramen noodles and stuff.
We have to survive high school first.
Yeah, I know, right? You'll survive high school just fine. I didn't survive high school, as you can tell by my reading level. But anyway, I'm just joking.
By your name memorization skills.
Yeah, by my name memorization skills. Did you graduate from high school? But yeah, let's jump right into it. So there's so much going on in the world right now, and I wish we had time to cover it all. I mean, everything from this Russian thing, this Russian hack that the Democratic Party is pushing out. Trump recently appointed Rex Tillerson, who is the CEO of ExxonMobil. I mentioned this briefly last week, as his Secretary of State. Makes you kind of scratch your head a little bit. Rex Tillerson is mad cool with Vladimir Putin, and that just makes everybody just scratch their head about the whole Russian thing a little bit more. Now, I'm of the personal opinion that the Russian thing isn't something that the Democrats need to be kind of pushing on, because even if they did hack the DNC and release the WikiLeaks, nobody from Russia came and put a gun to anybody's head, made them get in the voting booth and made them vote one way or the other. I think that people, even though they may have been swayed, I think people can make up their own minds once they read something. I mean, I read all the WikiLeaks and I still voted for Hillary Clinton, so I really don't know. But that's just a whole nother story. And then there's a big thing going on about the recount. And next week we're going to try to have a guest on who's an expert in that field, so I'm going to try really hard to make that happen. But tonight, I really want to kind of start off by talking about the current atmosphere that's kind of taking place. We talk about this a lot on this show, about how we're kind of sinking into this new kind of culture, this reality show TV culture, this culture where certain things are becoming normalized, like the president-elect tweeting, going into Twitter wars, for example. Today he got at Vanity Fair because they gave his restaurant a bad review. And he's taking pictures with Kanye West in the lobby of Trump Tower, and that's getting all these news headlines. And people are really starting to succumb to this. This is becoming like the normal way our world is starting to function a little bit. Kind of like that movie Idiocracy, if you've ever seen it. There's this I don't know. The way the culture is taking place is starting to kind of shift a little bit, and that kind of segues me into this thing going on with fake news right now. Now, Facebook has been under a lot of scrutiny lately because during the election, so many people were pumping out these fake news stories that people were just believing, and I think it came down to people just wanting to believe something, whether it was true or not. A good example is this Pizzagate thing. I don't know if y'all know about this, but and I don't know all the details. All I know is one of the generals that's working in Trump's cabinet, his son I forget the guy's name. It was the guy who said that we should hang Hillary or something like that. One of the hardcore ones.
Smart man.
Yeah, one of the real tough guys, right? He his son got a hold of some fake news story that was posted on Twitter or Facebook or one of them that was suggesting that John Podesta, who's Hillary Clinton's campaign manager, and Hillary Clinton were running a child pornography ring out of a pizza parlor in Washington, D.C. Now, this guy followed this story straight to the bank. I mean, he was into it, and he thought it was a real story. Really, he really didn't like Hillary Clinton. Couldn't stand her. So he wanted it to be, he probably wanted it to believe it was true. Now, I haven't spoken to the man personally, but that would probably be my hunch. So what he did was he loaded up his assault rifle, drove up to DC from North Carolina where he was from, or somewhere around that area, went up in the pizza parlor, shot a few shots in the air, and ran in the back looking for the child pornography thing. Now, he's sitting in jail right now awaiting trial, but when he found out it wasn't true, he was just like, damn, this type of thing is starting to kind of sway. And on the other side, a couple of weeks ago, there was a young Muslim girl, I don't know her name, from New York. She's about 18, that said she was walking through a subway, and all these Trump supporters started harassing her, and they grabbed her purse, told her to go back to her country. They pulled her headscarf off. I forget what do they call them? Burqas?
Hijab.
Yeah, the hijab. Yeah, I told you, man. High school. And she made that story up. That was a lie. But people ran with it. People ran with it straight to the bank. And it created this huge atmosphere of swaying things one way or the other. This fake news and the stories that people are trying to follow are starting to become the norm, because we are living in this world of post-facts where facts just don't make a difference. I'm going to believe what I want to believe. Donald Trump lied his way through the whole damn campaign. And everybody knew it, but nobody cared. They were quick to call Hillary Clinton a liar. But when it came to Donald Trump's lies and bullshit, oh, yeah. I just don't really understand how we go from where we were to this. And then that's not to say that fake news isn't a thing. There's always been fake news, right? There's always been like supermarket tabloids, right? Arnold Schwarzenegger had an alien baby.
It's always been festering within our society, but it's never been sort of wished into existence as much as it has now. We're looking for reasons to hate either side. We're looking for almost a catalyst to start a war at this point between the political parties, and we'll grasp at anything we can get, regardless of whether or not it's factually correct. We don't care. I think it's sad to admit, but I would probably click on something that said, Donald Trump turns out complete April Fool's joke. He's screwing the president. He's not really running for president. I would click on that and I'd go, really? Oh my God, thank God. And I would know it's not true, but I wouldn't care.
Yeah. I hear you.
That's the awful thing. It's you ignore that part of your brain that says this isn't really happening when the rest of you so desperately wants to believe that it is, that I think America is starting to block out the logical side.
I mean, that's kind of like the whole I want to reinforce my own beliefs thing, right? It's exactly. Like I want to believe something, so I'm going to turn on. I mean, that's pretty much what news is. Like, if I'm a liberal, I'm going to go to MSNBC or something like that, because that's reinforcing my beliefs I have about my dislike of conservatives or dislike of Republicans. And same thing, if I'm a Republican, I'm going to go on Fox News, regardless if the news stories are real or not, because there have been plenty of Fox News stories that have been classically debunked, but people feed into it. It's the #1 news channel all across the Rust Belt in the South, because of the fact that people want to believe these specific stories. They want to kind of reinforce those beliefs.
It's selective hearing. It really is.
Yeah. It's that division that kind of puts us out there. And these fake news stories are starting to become the norm. They're starting to become that thing, because people don't want to go to the regular media anymore to get their information. Most people are turning out CNN and MSNBC because their job is to no longer report their news. Their job is to bring in viewers. Their job is to appeal to their shareholders who own their corporations. Like, Time Warner owns this one and Comcast Cable owns the other one, and they're corporations, so they have to bring in ratings. So they have to get eyeballs. So they're going to give you a reality show. They're going to give you some fake news. So where do people go? They go to the internet. And Lord knows the internet is like the devil's playground when it comes to fake news. You know, I read this story. I don't know if it's true or not. You can fact check me on this. And I want to know what y'all think about this out there in TV land. You know, I know we're not watching TV, but one day.
Podcast land.
Yeah, podcast land. Comment on Facebook. Let me know what you think about this and where do you think this is kind of leading to.
And I think something that is so scary for me, and I bet for Cameron as well, is that people our age, people that are in high school and middle school, that are highly unlikely to actually turn on the TV and go to CNN, go to Fox, go to ABC, go to any of these generally factually correct in the broad spectrum of things news channels. We go on Facebook and Instagram and the internet, and whatever news story pops up on Snapchat that week, it's all about easy access and big headlines that catch our eye to get to, I don't want to say youngsters, it makes me sound like I'm 80, but to get youngsters involved.
I mean, you are.
I am 80. I'm 80 at heart.
You got the Benjamin Button thing.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's definitely, it's disconcerting. It's really concerning to think that Cameron and I are in the minority of people that will actually turn on the TV and will watch CNN, will watch Fox,
are willing to put the effort into educating themselves
and
on the topics.
Pardon my French, but willing to see through the bullshit.
Right. Yeah, of course. And you were speaking English, but I'm just joking. But no, but you're right.
I try and use a British phrase.
But no, you're absolutely right. A lot of people won't take the time to actually fact check themselves. You know, if I hear a story like some of these Alex Jones stories that you hear sometimes, right? Something that's wrapped in this realm of conspiracy theories. If I'm going, you know, and some people really like fake news. For some people, that really is entertaining. I mean, supermarket tabloids do exist. You know, Bat Boy, I can't tell you how many times I saw that walking along, and, you know, Hillary Clinton had hooked up with an alien and blah, blah, blah. Some people really like stuff like that. But for some people, when they hear like an Alex Jones conspiracy theory, like Sandy Hook was a black flag operation that the government put together in order to take people's guns away. When people hear shit like that and they really get into it and they start to subscribe to these notions, because it reinforces their belief that this, whatever I don't like or whatever I want to believe, kind of suits and caters me, that becomes a very dangerous atmosphere. And that is starting to become our nation. And all the while this is going on, people are ignoring the bigger things. They're ignoring the actual shit that's taking place. Like how Donald Trump just appointed a climate change denier to head of the EPA. If
we even have an EPA after he's done.
Yeah. That's like making Bill Cosby the head of women's women's
it's like
rights
making Donald Trump the head of women's rights issues.
Or something. You know?
Yeah.
It's so counterintuitive. It doesn't make any sense.
I know. And I see it every day at school, the effects of what's happening. I mean, I was talking to someone in one of my classes yesterday. And they were talking to me about some stupid tabloid thing about, God, I don't know, Tiger and Kylie Jenner, something along there.
You know, the big news.
Something along those, really crucial stories that we need to know. And I asked them, what do you think about the situation that just happened in Aleppo?
Right.
And like an old presidential candidate, they went, what's Aleppo?
What's Aleppo? Yeah. Exactly. Speaking of Aleppo, and we didn't get a chance to get into it, and I really wanted to talk about fascism and the rise of fascism. We're going to have to save that for next week. But speaking of Aleppo, and speaking of what's taking place around the world, there is, while we're kind of succumbing to this reality TV culture, which I promise you is going to take place. Kanye West has a good chance of becoming president now. Speaking of Tyga and Kylie Jenner, they may be up in the White House pretty soon. But on the flip side of things, there is this rise of fascism. Now, I'm not going to start getting all, oh my God, the Hitler Nazi Germany thing on you. I'm not really down with those conversations, but history does repeat itself. There's this website out right now that I heard Rush Limbaugh talking about, and it is called ProfessorWatchlist.org. And the goal of the website is to out liberal college professors who speak out against Trump and the things that he's doing. This same thing happened at Orange Coast College a couple weeks ago. this is starting to become this norm, something that we need to watch out for. All right, y'all, we are coming up against the break. This is the Mike Riley Now podcast on the Young Angels of America Network. We'll be right back. You are listening to the Mike Riley Now podcast on the Young Angels of America Network. Follow us by visiting MikeRileyNow.com.